I found a diary in the woods, and now I'm being watched. So, this happened a couple of weeks ago, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I don't even know if I'll ever sleep properly again. I've always loved hiking. There's something about the woods that feels so peaceful, like it's a place where the world's problems can't reach you. Or so I thought. It started on a Saturday. I decided to explore a trail about an hour from my place, somewhere I hadn't been before. It wasn't on the official map, but I'd read about it in this random blog. The guy who wrote it called it a hidden gem. That should have been my first red flag. The trail was gorgeous, though. The trees were so dense that it felt like I was walking through a tunnel of green. The air smelled fresh, and the only sounds were my boots crunching leaves and birds chirping overhead. About 2 miles in, I came across this small clearing with a weird stone structure, like a fire pit, but way too perfectly circular. Surrounding it were several wooden stakes planted in the ground, each about 4 feet tall. They looked old, rotting, but they still stood upright like they had some purpose. I figured it was some kind of old campsite, but then I saw it. Lying in the grass near the pit was this little leather-bound book. A diary. It looked ancient. The leather was cracked, the corners frayed. Curiosity got the better of me. I picked it up and flipped through it. The pages were yellowed and filled with this tiny, cramped handwriting. Here's the thing. The entries didn't make sense. They weren't dated, and the writing was frantic. Things like, "They watch when you're alone. Don't let them hear your name." Or, "I saw one last night, just beyond the tree line. It smiled at me." The last entry said, "If you find this, it's already too late." Chills ran down my spine, but I laughed it off. Some bored teenager probably made it up for kicks, right? I mean, who leaves creepy diaries in the woods for strangers to find? I shoved it into my backpack and decided to head back. I'd gotten my dose of nature and weirdness for the day. That's when things started to feel off. The forest got quieter. No birds, no rustling leaves, just silence. It felt like the air itself was holding its breath. I picked up my pace, but the faster I walked, the more I felt like I was being watched. You know that feeling, like there are eyes on you, even when you can't see anyone. Yeah, it was like that, intense, suffocating. I finally reached the trailhead and practically ran to my car. As I tossed my pack into the back seat, I swear I saw movement in the trees. Just a flicker, like something ducking behind a trunk. I told myself I was imagining things. That night, though, things got worse. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to this tapping sound on my bedroom window. My apartment is on the 3rd floor. There's no balcony, no tree branches nearby, just solid brick and glass. I froze, barely breathing, as the tapping grew louder. When I finally got the courage to peek through the blinds, there was nothing there. No one in the parking lot below, no shadows on the street. But when I turned back to my bed, the diary was lying there, open, on the pillow. I hadn't taken it out of my bag. I hadn't even touched it since I got home. The entry it was open to wasn't one I remembered reading before. It said, "They know your name now." I burned it the next day, took it out to a field, doused it in lighter fluid, and set the whole thing on fire. I thought that would be the end of it, but the thing is, I still feel them watching. Every time I'm alone, there's this weight on me, like I'm not the only one in the room. Sometimes, at night, I hear faint tapping. Not on the window anymore. It's coming from inside the apartment. I haven't gone hiking since, and I don't think I ever will again.